Luis Rodriguez asks, our friend, our amigo, Rav, how is it that God allowed himself to be tested in tithes when he himself prohibited that in Torah? Has it not been stated here that a prophet isn't to add anything new to the table? Thank you. I think he's referring to the fact that you can test God in donations, right? Doesn't it say something in the Bible where you can give charity, tzedakah, and that's a proof that God will.
It's in Malachi.
Is it? That's not Torah?
No, it's not in the Torah. But the part that is in the Torah is don't test God. But then
that's right. That you can't add new. Right. Okay.
It says in the Torah, don't test the Lord your God, right? But here it's saying to test your Lord your God. I never try to justify the prophets versus the Torah because we're going to lose. There's things in the prophets that don't align with the Torah. That's just the way things are. What appears in the prophets and the writings don't make and break our religion. The 5 books of Moses, that is what makes and breaks our religion. That's what we have to try to justify and package and hand over to other people. I'm not in any way trying to justify every ambiguous, poetic, hyperbolic, symbolic statement that appears in the prophets, because
you just go crazy doing that. But doesn't the Torah sanction giving tithes? So it's not. How would it be exactly testing God when God wants you to give tithes?
Well, this guy is saying, how can this prophet or this individual say that test God, like put him to the test, that if you give the tithes, he's going to open up the windows of heaven and money's going to pour down. But the Torah says, don't test the Lord your God. I don't know. There's many things. Well, there's answers to all these things by commentators, but I'm not going to teach it like it's not conjecture. It's just everyone's opinion. But the simple fact that we have more than one commentary to the Torah means that with ambiguous statements, there's no comment or explanation that's set in stone. I don't know.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I don't. Rav, tell me what you think about this. I don't think we're supposed to even read the Torah that way. I don't. I know that's like. I'll be honest with you. I think it's a kind of a goyish kind of a way of looking at Torah in the first place. Maybe it comes from a Christian perspective of like being sola scriptura, but I can't think of a Jew who goes, what does it say in the book of Genesis? What does it say in the book of Shemot? It says here in Devarim this verse. Doesn't it say not to test? It seems like that's not how Jews kind of read Torah. That's not really a Jewish understanding. Like we don't sort of see the Torah as like that way.
Yeah, but that's to our detriment. It's because most Jews don't question. You think like a yeshiva is a house of arguing and debating. It's not true. Not true. I mean, I spent years in yeshiva. Yes, you can ask questions, but if you don't accept the answer, I mean, they'll kick you out.
But let's be honest, though, Rabbi. Okay, maybe you can't take this 100% what I'm about to say, but we already have the answers to Judaism. We already have halacha. You do what the halacha says. That's Judaism. That's Torah. If you're not doing what the halacha says, then you're not Jewish and you're not following Torah. That's why I say that it's not really a Jewish way of thinking that, well, what it says in Devarim this and it says in Shemot this. Like, that's not really how we think as a Jew. We think, what does the halacha says? Yeah. But what I'm saying is the Jew is more concerned about what the halacha is, not necessarily what the text says. At the end of the day, like you even agree, the text mostly is about folklore, legend. It's about stories about people. It doesn't really have to do with laws anyway to the beginning of it anyway.
In the Talmud, but not in the Torah. In the Torah, we have to take those statements seriously that seem metaphysical, that we don't understand. We have to try to make sense out of them. In the prophets, I don't. Okay. In the Talmud, those portions are really disposable. Halakha is what's binding and carries weight in rabbinic literature, but everything carries weight in the Torah. But if you go to the Talmud straight through, this is what these rabbis are doing. They're arguing and they're bringing down all these ideas. I don't think that we should learn it like that just for the sake of arguing, but I think if you're in outreach in any way and you're in the position of apologetics, of explaining things to skeptical college kids, you better have these questions already set in your mind, like what you're going to say, or then so you're going to make your religion look bad. You always have to be ready to give an answer, like a thought out answer to people, and not say, well, we just do it because the rabbis say to do it. I mean, that'll work for people who are born religious, but it's not going to work with people who want to come to religion but have honest objections that it appears in the oral law, like, and this is what you must do. That's not going to suffice for the average person. And so we should ask these questions and research it and not be scared.
What should it though? I mean, what should it suffice the average person? The average person isn't a Jew anyway. Why do I care whether or not, if I give them a halakhic answer to why we wash our hands, Jews, even though we're not technically supposed to, we do it as a remembrance of the Cohen who used to do it. Like that's kind of like why we do it today. Like an average person is going to say, "Oh, so what? The Torah doesn't say to wash my hands. Screw you. Take a long walk." Like I can't convince them. No words I can ever say convince them because they don't accept.
I think I
Judaism
can rationalize the oral law to someone who has already accepted the written law to a certain extent. I mean, clearly, you can't sell someone the oral law without first giving them the written law.